stand strong in your truth, stand strong in your message. Know as you go out into the world, you're gonna get the shit kicked out of you here and there. It happens. And when you take your bumps and bruises, you just gotta recover from it and go out stronger and just get good people around you. You have a really good group of people around you, can win, because you're not gonna win without a group. And especially for entrepreneurs, rugged individualists, who's like, I wanna do everything myself, right? I gotta do it all by myself. Like, that's part of the reason you get great, but it's also part of the reason why an entrepreneur does not make it past the next level, because they don't really truly build a group. Make sense? Okay? So yeah, so it's a fun game, right? So that's my point of view, you know? I think it's a pretty sane point of view. You know, I've been passionate about the finance world since I was 21 because I was in that business. And so I was like, oh, I started to see both sides of the world, the new world of money and the old world of money. And when I was 22, I knew the old world of money was broken. I was asking all these questions at 22. I was like, what about that? And what about that? And what about that? None of it didn't make sense to me. And there were no real good answers, right? So I just decided, wow, this is interesting. Like, I knew this stuff at 22, that this stuff was most of this, the money system was no good. So, and then I started to look around as I started to share content of like, hey, let me see if most people know this. And I started to test it out. Initially, I'd go with my trainer and talk to him, be like, hey, did you know this? He'd be like, no, I didn't know that. And I'd talk to other people, friends. Hey, did you know this? No, I'd be at parties. So, you know this? No, I didn't know that. I had no idea. So I was like, I should just start doing some lives on this and just for fun, educating people and telling them about this, because I've made some incredible investments over the last couple of years, right? Like 400% returns in the last year. So I'm like, I should probably tell people what I know. And so I started to tell people. And I got on lives and I started to share like what I knew, but philosophically like what I knew. And people liked it. And it just started to take off. And then I was like, I'll do this more consistently. And then I started doing some research on it. And I just did it more and more. And then I was like, I'm gonna do 3 shows a week and stick to at least 3 shows a week or 4 shows a week. And it just started growing from like very few people to hundreds to thousands. And over 4.5 months, that's how it's gotten to an average of, I would say, about between 7,000 and 8,000 views per video. So in a week, if you're doing 4 or 5, you're looking at 40,000 views. Now, the idea on this is good traffic, right? You could go get 40,000 views somewhere else and get people that aren't interested, right? My audience is highly targeted and specifically what they want. Specifically. So I would monetize that audience of 8,000 views faster than most people would audience something of 80,000 views. Tracking? All right. So for me, it's like the intent of I'm very specific, I'm very clear. When I go off the reservation and I talk about something else, my audience is like, dude, what are you doing? You know? Like, hey, what about, you didn't mention anything about this in today. I was like, they're waiting for that thing that they're there for. And so much so that they kicked my business brand off the channel. I was trying to mix the two, my business brand and my finance brand. Like anytime I posted a business video, it was like scathing comments. We're not here for this. So I took my business brand that had 14,000 subscribers on YouTube and I trashed it and I moved the whole thing off to a separate brand, started from 0. Make sense?
All right, quick pause. So if you're liking this and you want help applying it to your business, just click the link down below and you can book a free strategy call with one of my consultants. And these exact systems I'm sharing with you today, we've helped thousands apply them to their business. Let's get back to it.
So consistency is do it 3 times a week. There's no, like, there's some things you can do to get, you know, more views, like a good title, a good picture over the video. There's a system to it, but I would say the first part of the system is just literally start. Just start going live. And don't worry about those comments that come on where somebody's gonna, like if you read through all the comments, you're gonna get somebody who invalidates you every time. Every time. That's just that percentage of the population, right? You're gonna get that. So 1, just, you don't read the comments, or 2, you just, you know, wash them out, you know what I'm saying? But you're gonna have that, so it's okay. And if you think it's just you or people don't like, look at the general interest, and if your channel's growing, don't let like 4 comments deter you from going to do your thing. It's crazy. Ignore the negative and you focus on the positive. Yeah. So yeah, if somebody's like, hey, I want more on this, you could survey the channel and find out. Like if it's a real thing, like the technology broke, and somebody's like, hey, the technology broke, then sure, take that into consideration. If it's a real feedback of like, hey, the music was a little bit disrupting, totally good. And that was it, you'll pay attention to that. But when I say negative, I mean somebody who's being a little bit nasty and kind of like invalidating you, that you just ignore. Yeah. But if it's like good feedback of like, hey, I really like that video and you're not doing that anymore, and the audience is like, hey, you're not doing that anymore, we want more of it. Oh, okay, great. I want to make sure I give them what they want. Yeah, for sure. Okay? When you're online, you're presenting, right? When you're one-on-one, you're not really presenting at all. You're just in communication. Now, when you're in front of a group, you're trying to get in as much communication as possible with people, right? Sometimes it's just through the message of the presentation, sometimes it's getting in communication. But when you're one-on-one, you're just strictly like right back and forth communication. That's how it goes. So you can look for an opportunity where there's a point of reality where somebody brings something up and they say something in the one-on-one enrollment conversation, let's say, or the networking meeting, and they bring something up and it's this perfect segue for you to go, hey, I totally get it. I went through that myself, you know? When I left the insurance business at 28 years old, like I had that question too, like, is this really all there is to my life? And I just gave them a nugget of the story. I'm not then going to go into presentation mode and go all the way through it. Or let's say they share something personal, like, hey, I had this experience of ba ba ba, and I'm like, yeah, I get it. I had a similar experience. I understand how it feels at 21. You know, it's a relatable moment to just share something that would get you in better relationship with the person. That's
Got it.
And something that would be real to them. Because if we're sitting here talking about like a funnel, and then all of a sudden I start talking to you about an overdose, you're like, dude, what's going on?
Right.
You know?
Okay.
Has nothing to do with it.
Got it.
Yeah. The question is like, if they want to work with her one-on-one, how do you do it to where she can scale without doing one-on-one? You can just do a group model, right? Like a seminar like this is a group, or a workshop, you know? You could offer up like a group program where they're going to work with you for 8 weeks and you teach them in a group, and they still get access to you, you know? So you could do that. You could do a retreat, and that would be it. You do any one of those. If you're doing some one-on-one and you want to transition out of doing one-on-one or still do a little bit, you do some one-on-one, you start a group model. Then as you start to get good with the group model, then you're like, hey, maybe I should bring in like a coach to give some individual attention to people. You know, so people still get the private support, because people need support, you know?
Okay.
Everything I do is literally just a passion.
Yeah.
And that's what I lead with. Like the purpose or the passion or the mission is always senior to the money. Always. Because there's always a way to figure out how to make money with it. So I started doing it just because my brother and I were having so much fun. And I would call him in the morning and be so excited. Yo, what's going on? I'm so excited. I'm like, man, wouldn't it be more fun if other people were in this game? Like it would be fun. Like, people should know about this. You know, and I was walking around and talking to my friends like, hey, but you should check this out, check this out, check this out, because I wanted to help them. And they were just like, no clue. And so I genuinely wanted to help people. Even my stepfather's 82, he owns Bitcoin. Dude, I mean, we're sitting at Thanksgiving, you know, like I want to talk about meaningful things that are going to help people. That's just my nature. So when I started to do that channel, I was like, I should just start telling people this, because I just started to see like, they don't know. And then even like getting into Bitcoin in 2018, I was like, years later in 2024, I was like, we're at parties and they still don't know. Like, what's going on? And then I mentioned the other word of the stock that I follow, and people glaze over. They're like, what the hell is that? So I was just like, people have to know this. And like a genuine passion of like, I look at the financial system and I'm like, it genuinely is not good. Like, it really is not good for people. It just isn't. Most of it, not all of it, most of it. And I lived inside that. So it's like a yearning passion from the time I was 21 watching it. I was sitting in the classes and they would come pitch to products, and I was sitting at the insurance company, be like, hey, so here's this product that we're gonna sell today. And I'd be looking at the prospectus. I'm like, what's up with the 2% fee? And then I look at the next thing, or like, oh, that's because it's that product. Then I look at the next one, I'm like, this one has a 1% fee. You know? And then they be like, hey, you should put money in a 401k because we're gonna be selling 401ks. I'm like, what's a 401k? And they were teaching in class. They're like, oh, you put it in this. I'm like, oh, cool. I get it. Like, I save taxes. Amazing. Great. So and then I can take it out tomorrow when I go, like back in the day, I was traveling down to South Beach all the time. I had a different life. So when I go to South Beach, I can take it out when it grows. And they're like, no, you can't take it out till you're 59 and a half. I'm like, I'm 22. Why am I gonna put something at 59 and a half? You crazy? So I was the one in the room like, what are you guys, crazy? Like, what are you even talking about? And I would sit there and crunch the numbers, like engineering wise, and like, just like, hey, this part doesn't make sense to me. So I've been sitting on that for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? And just like, and then I went into the group agreement of like, okay, I can see how some of this makes sense. We can sell these things. And I just like, I never fully agreed with it. And so this is kind of like my penance going back, and now like, how do I make it right, you know? Like now, how do I actually introduce the things that took place? And that's a passion. You know, we went to a personal financial engineering conference where like you put all your money on one sheet and then you looked at everything, your insurances and your savings accounts and your investments, and you looked at the overall return of your money. I was like fascinated about it, fascinated in math, because I couldn't read, so I had to do math, you know what I'm saying? So I was just fascinated by looking at the numbers. And it was just like, it was wild to me, and it was just a passion. And then I kind of just sat on it, and it was like, oh, I'm a speaker and I'm a communicator. And then one day I was just like, I found this new form of money, Bitcoin, and I was like, oh my God, the world must know this. And when you stack them up side by side, the old world is a joke. It's a joke, like a complete joke. So with that, a little bit of passion in there, I was like, I need to tell people about this. So I did it, and I launched a channel, and it was pure passion. And it was like, and then along the way, I was like, okay, maybe we should figure out a way to help people more. What problem are they having? Let's solve this problem. And then if I solve the problem, we can monetize it. But the money was always the last thing. I wrote a book on the finance stuff. So that book's coming out in 45 days. So get attention. I'll send them to a book, buy the book. Once they buy the book, then they can go into our platform. We have a new platform that we created, like a social community around money that makes it fun, called M Game, Money Game. And so then they can go to that platform and get a subscription. And then in my head, I'm like, okay, well, there's another problem to solve. And so I have all these other ideas. But initially, it's like, just help the people, share the message, have fun doing it, and then there's a way to make money doing it. If I was just interested in money, I'd be in finance.
Sure.
And like I have a good buddy of mine who trades all the time. He's trading all the time, and like he reports his trades. And I was like, damn, man, I should have been trading that. But I was like, I deeply know, like in my heart, that the mission for me is like the message.
Sure.
And I can't pull myself away from doing a show or writing a book for the audience, which is more valuable to me than sitting there and trading all day and making money. Now, if I eventually will find some time on the trading thing, and I'm looking to automate that and create a system for it, but I'm not gonna spend my time there right now and put that above my purpose.
So if you're serious about scaling your business online and you want help with my one-to-many selling method to sell on podcasts or webinars or virtual stages or in person, then click the link down below and book a free strategy call. My coaches will help you implement it. We've worked with over 30,000 businesses on these very same strategies. Click it down below and go book. See you soon.